haven't gone yet.
I'd like to call this meeting to order. Welcome here, everyone. Council, as I was thinking about what to speak on today, I started to think about 2025, the year we just ended. And like all things, when I start thinking, I often get carried away and I think way too deeply. And I started to think about what every one of you mean to me. And so my opening is going to be basically on the relationships we built. I'm going to start with Councillor Bill Hebert. Councillor Bill Hebert, when we met in 2018, I had no idea you would become the kind of friend you have become to me and the support you've been. And I just really want to appreciate you. I've got to know you as the kind of person that I really believe that when you wake up in the morning, you wake up with the intent to do good. You wake up to the intent for good for your neighbor, good for your resident, good for your family. And that comes through in what you do and in the decisions you make. And I want to just tell you, I really appreciate that about you. And that's one of the things that makes you a very easy person to work with. Thank you very much. Councillor Susan Penner, I'm going to save you for later.
Okay, great.
Councillor Jake Siemens. When I was thinking about you, I was reminded back in 2010, you came to the store one day buying meat as you did every week, and you still do every week. And I pulled you aside and I asked you if I could ask you a question. And I told you I was thinking of running for council. And you encouraged me at that moment. And I felt really good about that. And I want to thank you for that, because who knew what 15 years later what this was going to bring. And I remember when I became counselor, the learning curve was steep. I was overwhelmed. Then we sat down with our first agenda, and you went through it, and you took time to show me how you go through the agenda. I've changed some of the things that you taught me. I do it differently, and that's okay. You told me to make it mine. But Jake, you've always been a great friend, as a friend of the family, and great support. And I've always appreciated you so much in the sounding board you've been. And I've enjoyed our many coffee breaks, times when we've sat down and just had a drink. And those mean a lot to me, and I cherish those moments. And I just want to thank you for your contribution to council, and how sometimes you cause us to relook at and rethink sometimes what we're thinking. Councillor Penner, I think you remember this, walking down First Street, going door to door in your campaign. That's when we met you. We pulled you inside and Lori grilled you like a chicken breast on a barbecue, right? And I still remember that. And who would have known what this all came to? And I've come to appreciate our phone calls. And I want to thank you for, no matter, I don't know what's going on in your mornings and what your prep is like, but every time the phone I call, you answer. And we have great talks and thought-provoking talks. You're a wonderful counselor, and I appreciate you so much. And I want to thank you for what you've done in this last 7 years. When you look at how our city has changed and the decisions we make today, they're different than the ones we made 7 years ago. And I thank you for the growth that I've seen in you and the counselor that you become. Thank you very much. Councillor Hebert, you got to be one of the best neighbors we have. This man's always bringing us crab apples and tomatoes and anything else that his lovely wife bakes. But beyond that, I want to thank you, and I want to tell you I appreciate that when I'm in a bind and I have a conflict with a commitment, you're there, you come, and you represent the city on my behalf. Many times you've done that, and I want to thank you for that. And I want to thank you for the person you are, and how you represent our city, and how much I feel you just have a love for our neighborhood. Thank you. Councillor Swagstra, you've been my deputy mayor from the beginning. You've been great support. I really appreciate what you've done with the RCMP advisory and the guidance you've given, and the way you bring forward the community's needs and requests and bring that information to the RCMP so that they can do their job even better, and how you are a liaison between the community and our RCMP in that way. And thank you for being a good deputy mayor, for your support, and for being a great sounding board for all this time. I've come to appreciate you, and you've become very important to me. Thank you. Councillor Susan Penner. I really feel for you, because as the only woman on council, I can imagine the struggles that you have. Even, I know in the media, we've been called the fathers of Steinbach. Incredible disservice to you. But I thank you for being strong and for always looking for the best for your residents and for Steinbach. And Susan, when I think of 2025, 2024, and what was done and how hard you worked on the doctor recruitment task force, and where that's come from a suggestion of streaming local students for family medicine rurally to where it is today. We wouldn't be where we are without you today. When I look at where we've come, it was your suggestion through the task force that we ran with, and we took it to we went to meetings. Remember, I think we've driven all over Winnipeg, going to see people and meet with them and take your plan of local students streamed for rural medicine. And that has come to, I still remember it's a great idea, but we've just invested so much money into the medical faculty, and the province has done that too. So you can keep advocating, but chances are you won't get anything. We didn't take that. You especially didn't take that as an answer. You kept pushing. We went to Cities Caucus with it, and at the AMM, the question was asked by Sherilyn Knox, the chair for the Cities Caucus, what has happening with all those resolutions from councils to increase Brandon's university and have that as a rural doctor stream. And she had let us know that she was looking at it very favorably. She liked it. That idea started with you. It started here in this room. And we took that idea and we kept going, and we kept going hard. And we picked up momentum and kept going. And that is, you might be the only woman on council, but you're not the smallest voice. You're a very strong voice. And you've made great strides in this, because now there's a new letter out from the minister, and it's very favorable. And we will be seeing rural doctors being streamed for family medicine. And that's because you never gave up. And I want to thank you, Susan. I want to thank you, Councillor Penner, for your involvement in that and what you did, and for that idea starting with you and moving it. And I want to thank you for allowing me to come on that team and push that idea as well, because that idea has been very successful. And I just want to thank you for that. Thank you for the friendship that you guys have all been to me. I appreciate that. And as we go into this next year and we have an election in fall, and council could look very different in fall. We don't know what council's going to look like. But I think we need to take inventory of ourselves because our city is just growing. When I look at 2010, when I was first a councillor, to now, even 2018, when I was first elected as mayor, this community has changed. It's not the same community. And if we look 15 years into the future, this community could be a community of 40,000 people. Like, we could double in size in that time. And I think we need to take inventory of ourselves. When we look at, are we going to run again? Do we know? How are we going to lead a city that is growing as fast as this one's growing, and a city that is going to be, I think, a contender in this province? So I encourage all of you to search your heart as we go into this next year, and I would love for all of you to be here to work again. It's been a great team. It's been a great 7+ years. And I'm looking for a great 2026 together and beyond. But I just want to thank you, and I want you to know what you guys mean to me and how much I value you guys as your decision making, your wisdom, your common sense, and your friendship. Thank you so much. Okay, council, we have the agenda in front of us. I'm looking for motion to adopt. I just want to make changes in 9C, the zoning bylaw 2245, third reading. Let's strike that off. We will be taking care of that in the next council meeting. And we will add the operating agreement between Source for Sports and the Southeast Events Group. We'll put that under other business. And once that is done, I'm looking for a motion to adopt. Councillor Penner, second by Councillor Hebert. Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. We got the minutes of December 16th, 2025, regular council meeting. Looking for a motion to approve. Councillor Hebert, second by Councillor Swagstra. Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Business arising from the minutes? Okay, seeing none, we will go directly into the public hearing. This is a public hearing for conditional use CU 2025-06, and there's a variance on the same property, V 2025-38. Council, we will take them both together. We'll do them separately, but I'll have Mr. Workteen introduce them together. So at this time, I will close the public hearing, open the council meeting. Mr. Workteen, could you please introduce this file?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you already mentioned, you've identified the conditional use and the variance files. These are both pertaining to the subject property at 31 Loewen Boulevard in Steinbach. The owner of the property is LT Neufeld Holdings Ltd., with the applicant for the variances, for the variance and for the conditional use being Three-Way Builders Ltd. Firstly, the conditional use. The purpose of the conditional use is to permit a mixed-use commercial multifamily development within the C3 commercial corridor zone, whereas the City of Steinbach zoning bylaw requires this type of use to be approved via conditional use. Purpose of the variance is to permit a west side yard setback of 5 feet, whereas Steinbach zoning bylaw 2100 requires a minimum side yard setback of 15 feet in the C3 commercial corridor zone. Notices, as are required under the Planning Act, have been issued. There is no written correspondence on file. With respect to the conditional use application, the proposal does seek to create 33 new residential units and over 10,000 square feet of commercial space. There are several precedents on file of city council approvals to permit a multi-unit residential development in commercial zoning, and it does not appear that there would be any negative impacts resulting from the approval of this application. And with respect to the application for variance, the subject property previously contained a single-unit residential structure which has been removed. The applicant intends to develop a multi-story mixed-use structure on the site with the main floor to be used for commercial purposes. The abutting property to the west side of the subject currently contains a commercial use, and the proposed concept plan shows a balcony projection on the west side yard of 20 inches. If the variance is approved as requested, this would result in portions of the proposed structure being built within just over 3 feet of the west side lot line. If council is satisfied that any site and neighborhood concerns are addressed, council may approve the application under this file with any approvals recommended to be subject to a development agreement for both the conditional use application and for the variance application.
Thank you, Mr. Workington. Okay, council, we'll start with the conditional use, CU 2025-06. Is the applicant here today? Yes. And do you wish to speak? Yes. Okay, we'll have you just take the podium, state your name and address, and then continue.
Nick Thiessen, 50 Granite Park Boulevard. I feel a little awkward after that wonderful bromance introduction that there wasn't a group hug. Felt like something was missing, but anyway, good evening, Mayor Funk and members of council. Thank you for your consideration of our application. As Mr. Workington has discussed, we seek conditional use and a variance to develop a 4-story mixed-use building at 31 Loewen Boulevard, which will include 33 residential units on floors 2 to 4 and over 10,000 square feet of commercial space on the main floor. Conditional use is required to build multifamily in a C3 zoning, as you are aware, and the variance requested is to reduce the side yard requirement to allow us to accommodate the parking lot requirements. The proposed structure will bring additional living spaces and commercial space areas within the commercial corridor to a lot which has been a single-family home and vacant lot for decades now. Although we did this summer as a family have a chance to cut down a couple trees and have a nice big bonfire with fire department approval. It's a huge bonfire actually, and marveled at the size of the lot. And so if this doesn't go through, we would love to talk about building a residential house on that property. Let me start by addressing the conditional use requirement. Although the city, as Mr. Workington has said, has already shown a lot of support for mixed-use buildings within commercial zonings in Steinbach, as it is an effective means to increase density and provide more housing, we believe this project continues to align with the city of Steinbach's goals. And just in case, why should we consider mixed-use development? Mixed-use buildings combining commercial space at street level with multifamily residences above efficiently maximize land usage, and bring vibrancy to communities, preventing empty or dead commercial zones after everyone has gone home. The model boosts property tax revenue, enhances local business, and creates safer, more welcoming streetscapes. Residents benefit from nearby amenities, reduced traffic, and less reliance on cars. Such projects tackle housing demand by adding density within city limits and supporting diverse populations in line with current urban planning principles. They lower infrastructure costs, promote walkable neighborhoods, and contribute to environmental goals by reducing emissions. For council, mixed-use development offers economic resilience, flexible spaces for shifting markets, and a strategy that attracts investment and strengthens the community. Also worth considering is that the neighborhood already includes comparable mixed-use buildings on Highway 52, so this development would not be out of the ordinary. 33 new homes will undoubtedly stimulate nearby businesses, and the proximity to 2 schools and major employers within walking distance makes this an attractive location. There's an existing sidewalk along the front which will ensure safety for pedestrian traffic, and the newly upgraded intersection at Highway 12 and Loewen Boulevard alleviates traffic concerns.
Thank you. Council, any questions for the applicant on the conditional use? Okay, seeing none. I will ask if there's anyone here with comments, questions, or objections to this file. I'll ask one more time. Is there anyone here with comments, questions, or objections to this file? Okay, seeing none, I will close the public hearing, open the council meeting. Council, how would you like to proceed? Councilor Penner,
Motion to approve.
second by Councilor Swagster. Go ahead, Councilor Penner.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. This is with regards to the conditional use for the property on 31 Loewen Boulevard to allow residential inside of the C3 commercial corridor zone. As the applicant already alluded to, it's great to see residential within a commercial application in a commercial area. It allows for vibrancy just outside of the 9 to 5 hours, and it stimulates outside businesses, businesses that would thrive after 5 o'clock, and it brings a vibrancy into our downtown. So in the commercial area, especially in our downtown area, it's nice to see mixed uses, and I feel like this conditional use is definitely something that should move forward.
Thank you very much. Anything further?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Obviously, with the conditional use, we always look at things on a case-by-case basis. In this situation, I think the case is quite straightforward. The application here is to allow for multifamily residential with a commercial component in a C3 zone, and this seems like the perfect area for it. We're at a major intersection. It fits in with the surrounding area, and there's no one here objecting and raising any concerns. And so I think this will be a great addition to the area. We know that we need more housing in Steinbach, and this type of mixed-use development is quite appealing. And so I certainly think we should approve the conditional use.
Anything further of council? Anything in closing?
Nothing further?
Well, council, I also will support this, this conditional use. I believe this is a great spot for mixed use, and I think it will spur on other development. I think, as all the reasons were said, I think this is a good fit for this lot. Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Okay, council, we'll go directly into the variance. V-2025-38. So I will now at this time close the council meeting, open the public hearing. And this has been introduced already, so I see that we have our applicant at the podium, so we'll give him the podium to speak.
Still the same guy.
Still the same guy.
Yeah, so the second part of this request is to vary the side yard setback. The current zoning requirement is a 15-foot setback on the side yard. We are seeking to have this reduced to 5 feet. While this may seem like a significant ask, we believe it is reasonable given the location and the existing structures in the neighborhood. In fact, adjacent properties in the neighborhood have already had many of their setbacks reduced. Additionally, many of the city's residential zonings only require a 4 or 5 foot side yard setback, and most of the other commercial zonings actually allow for a 0 side yard setback. So for quick comparison, I brought a few of the properties at 37 Loewen Boulevard. Appears to have about a 1.5 foot setback on the side yard on the west side, which is the property directly adjacent to this property. The property at 77 PTH 52 has an auxiliary structure along the highway that also has a near 3 foot setback on the east side. And the property at 2 PTH 12, depending on what you consider to be the frontage of that property, it has a Highway 12 address, but I believe it has a Loewen Boulevard frontage. So it either has a 0 side yard setback or a 0 rear yard setback. Troy could probably answer. I think it's probably the rear yard, which was a 25 foot to 0 setback. So I don't, all three are the same zoning. They're all C3 zoning as 31 Loewen Boulevard. Therefore, we believe the variance will not negatively impact the neighborhood.
Thank you very much. Is there any questions for the applicant? Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There's variances in where the balconies are going to go. The building is going to be 5 feet, and the balcony is going to be 3.5 feet from, so the balcony is only 1.5 feet wide, or it's indented into the building?
It is indented partially into the building and then extends slightly out. We checked this with Lacey. She said that the amount that we're showing of an overhang on the balcony fits within what she believed was acceptable.
So your variance, not to play.
The variance is for the
with
footprint.
words, yeah, is for the footing. but at the end of the day, it's 3.5 feet.
At the balcony overhangs, yes.
And are there any future variances anticipated as to the frontage?
No.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Anything further of council? Okay. I'll ask if there's anyone here with comments, questions, or objections to this file. Seeing none, I will ask one more time. Is there anyone here with comments, questions, or objections to this file? Okay, seeing nothing, I will close the public hearing, open the council meeting. Council, how would you like to proceed? Councilor Swagstra,
Make the motion to approve the variance.
second by Councilor Hebert. Go ahead, Councilor Swagstra.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In this case, the variance request is to reduce the side yard from 15 feet to 5 feet. Considering the nature of the development and the fact that the variance is to allow for the parking lot, and of course, we do have parking requirements, and this variance makes it possible to have the building and then also the parking. So I think the request is reasonable in terms of the rationale behind it. And again, there's no one objecting. Our staff are not raising any concerns, and there is no one here that's raising any objections. And so when you factor those in, I think it's fine to approve the variance.
Thank you, Councilor Swagstra. Anything further, Councilor?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also agree with what Councillor Swagstra is saying, and especially because there's a parking lot right next door to it. I don't think there'll be a building coming up next door, so it shouldn't affect that either. So I think it's a good fit for the area, so I approve.
Anything further of council? Anything in closing? Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried.
Thank you.
Council, we'll go to number 9, administration, accounts payable, back of the book. We've all had a chance to review, looking for a motion to approve. Councilor Hebert, second by Councilor Penner. Any comments?
Paying our bills.
Call for the question. All's in favor? Opposed? That is carried. We've got 9B, financial statements ending November 30th, 2025. Councilor Hebert, motion to approve. Second by Councilor Siemens. Any comments?
Nothing further, thank you.
Call for the question. All's in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Council, are there any questions of council today? Okay, seeing none, we'll move to correspondence petitions. We've got 11A, multi-material stewardship Manitoba, the 2026 municipal recycling funding payments. Council, would you like to proceed? Take as information. Thank you. We've got 11B. This is the Eastman Regional Municipal Committee, South Subcommittee. Read the minutes of December 8th, 2025. Council, would you like to proceed? Take as information. Do you have any comments to add to that?
Not at this time.
Okay. And 11C, this is the Seine Roseau Watershed District minutes of November 18th, 2025, and November 21, 2025. Council, take as information at this time. Council, other business, we've got the operating agreement between Source for Sports and the Southeast Events Group. Mr. Warkadine, could you please introduce this file?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This was a late item added to council's agenda. The information was provided to members of council this afternoon. The package contains 2 items, actually 3. I've got a short report just summarizing what the background of this particular lease agreement is, how it arose, and the fact that with the operating agreement that the city has entered into with SEG for the operation of the Southeast Event Center, anytime there is a desire to enter into a lease agreement for a long-term lease, that also requires the ratification of Steinbach Council. That agreement between SEG Inc. And Steinbach Source for Sports is provided in this supplementary package. Administration has reviewed the components of the lease and the terms within it and has no concerns, with the exception of there are certain components that as the owner of the building, administration recommends that City Council, in its consideration of approval of the lease, that City Council also review the memorandum of understanding that has been attached. That does include certain components related to the legal insurance and liability protections for the City of Steinbach. And if there is agreement from City Council, recommendation from administration is that if Council is prepared to approve or ratify the lease document as presented, that it also then ratify that all parties enter into this memorandum of understanding as a further condition of the lease approval. And if Council has any questions, happy to answer them.
Okay. Councillor, any questions for Mr. Workney? Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. What is the length proposed for this agreement, or is it open-ended?
I believe that the term has been proposed for 5 years with an opportunity to renew for an additional 5 years.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any further questions? Okay, Council, how would you like to proceed? Councillor Siemens,
A motion to approve.
second by Councillor Penner. Go ahead, Councillor Siemens.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. When we built the Southeast Events Center together with the Southeast Events Group, and then we hired them as a third party to manage the place, then part of the agreement is that anytime they have rentals like this, proposed that it be approved through an operating agreement through the City of Steinbach. So that's why it's here. And when the building was designed, it had a skate shop or a sports shop in it. It's been designed in it, so it's there. And so this is that gives Steinbach Source for Sports then opportunity to move in there and run a small skate sharpening shop and tape sales or whatever else it is as part of it. So, but we need to follow through this agreement, and I would agree with administration that we need to have the agreement done to the city's clarification so that all parties with leasing and insurance and all the other details are part of the agreement.
Anything?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, this says the event center is coming to its final completion. There's the little nooks and crannies that are getting filled in, and this is one of those that was intentionally designed and didn't have a tenant originally, but now there's a nice locally owned business, which is always great to see. That's going to be putting some roots down into the event center and providing even more service to the individuals that are going to be at the facility. So it's good to see that. We're continuing to, or specifically SEG is continuing to increase the viability and the amenities that they're offering there.
Thank you. Anything further of council? Anything to close? Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Looking for a motion to adjourn. Councillor Penner, second by Councillor Hebert. Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Next council meeting, Tuesday, January 20th, 2026.